Okay, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Dougie. Today we're going to do pizza dough. I got a lot of support from my brother-in-law Steve. You've seen him on our episodes in the past. But this was his recipe and it works out really well for like 2 large pizzas. So we're going to start with 5 cups of flour. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of salt. And then the warm water, it has to be like about 110 degrees. I've got my little meat thermometer in there. 1 packet of the quick rise, fast rising instant yeast. Put this in the warm water. Okay, and then we're going to need 1 tablespoon of sugar for the yeast to eat. And it's activating already, giving a little bit of love. So, what we're going to do is put the dry ingredients into the mixing bowl and put the hook on. Alright, I'm going to add my warm water with the yeast and the 1 tablespoon of sugar to my dry ingredients and just let the hook do its work. We'll watch this periodically. Okay, this is really easy. You know, you'll look at the dough and you can tell if it's a little wet like we just showed on the video. So what I'm going to do, because I want all of that pulling away from the bowl and getting involved in that hook and mixing and kneading itself like that. But when it's wet and hanging on there, you need to add a little bit of flour. So we've got like a tablespoon of flour and that's all we're going to add at any given time. So here we go. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to this now, a couple of tablespoons. And don't be afraid to add a little bit more if you need it. I think I'm just a little, I want to get it right. So 1 more tablespoon for fun. See what we got in here? Nice little ball of joy. Just a couple kneading just to get the yeast nice and activated. Plus it's drawn the flour off of this board so it's not such a wet product. Now we're getting really nice. And then what we're going to do is get a nice ball like this, cut in half. Okay, then you take your half and form it like this, and then we'll put this right inside the bowl, the greased bowl with the olive oil. We have 2 equal parts, nice greased bowl. So what I'll do is cover these with plastic and we're going to let them double in size. They will double in size while they sit there covered in plastic on the countertop. We'll come back when they've doubled. Okay, our doughs have doubled in size. We're gonna start stretching them a bit. Gonna fold it, push it down, and then what we'll do, do it like this, get a nice little ball, and then we'll set this aside. My brother-in-law, who we did our Lobster Fest video recently, he has a special pizza that he's been boasting about, that he uses a Lobster Bisque reduction as his sauce. And he puts lobster on it, bacon and tomatoes. So take a look at this.
Alright, tell me when you're ready. I need a sip of my beer. Hey everybody, it's Steve here. Doug just showed you how to make his famous pizza dough, and I'm going to show you a recipe for pizza that I came across actually looking for, things to do with lobster. There's always a bunch of different things you can do. One of the things we're going to incorporate is the lobster bisque. So I've got the dough already formed out to make about a 12-inch pie. First thing I'm going to do is actually season the dough with some Old Bay. This is going to just to season the dough a little bit. I'm gonna pour on the lobster bisque, which has been reduced so it's almost like a bechamel, and it's full of chunk lobster meat as well. Not a lot, because you don't want it to be too wet. Kind of get all the way to the edge, because then that way you get a little bit of the dough, but you can eat the dough with lobster and flavor. A generous portion of sprinkling of Parmesan Romano grated. I like the grated mix because you get it a little bit smaller and it's a little bit more versatile to do things with from time to time. I made some bacon in advance and chunked it up into little batons. Sprinkle a good generous amount of bacon on your pie. Fresh tomato from the garden, just however much you want. I don't spread it too much. A little bit of green onion. Some corn on the cob. So it's kind of cob corn. And pretty dry. You can roast it. You can see it's chunky. Kind of goes with the chunks of the lobster as well. A couple extra chunks of lobster too, just to kind of fill it out on top. And there you have it. Lobster Bisque Pizza. I'm going to take this out to my grill and I'll show you what I do to grill it. Okay, so now we're out at my grill. Actually, this is just a regular grill. I have all the burners on high and I've had the pizza stone heating for 10 or 15 minutes. I put my pizza on a pan. The reason being is because that stone is really, really hot and all the heat's coming from the bottom. So I don't want to burn the bottom before the top has a chance to cook. So I just basically set it in there. I'm going to slide this back a little bit so I can get, there we go. We'll come back in about maybe 6 minutes. Alright, so now it's been cooking for probably exactly 6 minutes. You can see the pizza's part cooked. The dough is on the top has started to cook, but the dough on the bottom hasn't quite burned yet. So what I do is I slide it directly now onto the pizza stone, and I'll only leave it for maybe 90 seconds at the most. And what happens is that really crisps up the dough, and I kind of like that dark, crispy dough, and it'll hold up well to the lobster juice and the lobster bisque as well. Yeah, I could smell it burning. Oh, that's perfection. So I just pulled out the pizza, and let me show you. Nice and crisp. Oh, it's a little charred, but you know what? That's going to be really good. See how... All right, well, I just finished it off with a little bit more of the grated Parmesan and Romano cheeses and a little bit more sprinkling of an Old Bay, and we are going to taste this. Nice crispy sound. I love that. All right, who wants to taste it?
This looks super good. This one. It's got a little bit of everything. That's really good. With the cream sauce, it's like a white pizza, but it still has the heartiness. And with the little bit of tomato and the lobster.
Did you get any bacon in that bite?
I didn't get bacon, but
Oh, bummer, because the bacon is a...
maybe you'll get bacon in
Little
your
treasure.
bite.
That is a little, that's a little crispy. Is it a little burnt? No.
Not a bad burnt.
Oh my God. Folks, if I do say so, it's really good. Got the idea from someone who actually made a lobster roll BLT. And I thought, how would bacon go with lobster? And everything else you basically put on a lobster bake and on a pizza. It's really good. You'll like it. I promise you'll enjoy it.